bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A young woman is waging a campaign against domestic violence. She claims to be a victim of domestic abuse, and she says she hopes to use her experience to make women aware of this form of abuse. Shashina Roll reports.
Bianca Henfield has created a new Facebook group called Help Stop Domestic Violence. She says after suffering from a vicious attack back in February, she feels compelled to use her story to help others. She says it was a day that she can never forget.
He started to get aggravated for whatever reason. He was having his day going. And I tell him if that's what he's into, then I'm going home. As I walked off to go to the car, I was struck in the back of the head with a baseball bat. When I spin round, that's when this arm here get broken. I have 4 pins and a plate holding this arm together. I had surgery on this arm. I suffered 24 stitches to the right part of my head. A lady by the name of Miss Dora, she lives across from the beach. As I yelled for help, there was not a soul in sight. When he struck me with the baseball bat, repeatedly striking me, his words was, if you think you're going to leave me and have people laughing at me, you can see. And I was trying to figure out like where all this come from.
And that she would never know. But what she is sure of is the telltale signs that she's warning every woman and even man to pay attention to. Bianca says she still does not have full use of her arm, and she hopes her story can help others to get away from their abusers before it is too late.
Recently, when I created the page, I realized I thought it would have been more young people like myself suffering it from domestic violence, but I found out that there are a lot of older women as well who private message me and tell me certain stories, and some of them still living in it. And I try to encourage them by getting out, because what it is that could possibly want you to stay in something that is not healthy for you.
Bianca says the Facebook group is about having open and confidential dialogue about domestic abuse, but most importantly, to receive help.
I post daily inside the group about my story, as well as I have other people who in the group now that talks about their story, and my aim is to host couple seminars to shed light on it, that domestic violence is a crime and the people who committing this crime should be punished to the full extent of the law. It is not a joke. It's a serious matter.
She says so far the organization has already helped 2 persons.
I am teaming up with the local government for my area to help them get out, one-on-one help, get out, like find a new place to live, assist them in any way possible.
If you want to contact Bianca Henfield, you can do so on Facebook at Bumblebee Henfield or search for Help Stop Domestic Violence on Facebook.
This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the Cancer Association has increased its efforts to make the community more aware of the dangers of the disease. Scores of women turning out recently for a breast cancer seminar. President of the Cancer Association, Norma Headley, says they want to get that all-important message out that early detection is key.
So I think that is very good. And I must say thanks to Dr. Monroe. Early detection is very important. You don't want to go from 1 to 4 or 5 or 6. So the earlier you know what is going on with your body, especially your breast, both male and female, you're ahead 100%.
Dr. Margot Monroe also addressed the women on breast cancer and its management.
It is well advised to ensure that you do your self-breast examination monthly in an effort to familiarize yourself with your breasts. And at the first sign of any abnormality, whether it's a lump, changes in your nipple, changes in the skin of the breast, or any changes within your armpit, then you would be well advised to visit your healthcare professional and seek further evaluation and assessment as required.
Tarif College continuing its focus on a program designed for high school students, and as we hear in this report, parental support is growing as well. Tarif College is working to ensure that students are prepared to make a smooth transition to college upon leaving high school through its advanced placement program for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. President Terrence Archer.
What inspired me is the low national average, our grade average, what they said was at the time I think was a D. That bothered me because it does not have to be that way. I said it before and I say it again. We are following the wrong module. We have schools in Sweden. We have the school in China, Japan. These persons have longer school hours, and yet their students are doing extremely well. The United States is not even on the radar when you're looking at leading countries that are number one in the academic field. And so I took a concept from those modules.
Archer says students need to be challenged to channel their efforts in a positive direction.
Kids are texting, Skyping, on the computers, doing other things for hours on end. Why we can't take an additional 3 hours and put that into their mental development academically? They would still have the socialization that they have. But now by putting that extra amount of time, now you're strengthening their mind towards academia to show them the importance of what it means to be well-grounded in some form of academics.
He says the program is going well and more parents are now responding to this concept.
Parents are saying we did not know. If we had only known about a program like this, we would send our child. We have persons right now wanting to pull their kid that has already been identified by their respective schools that they would not graduate, bringing them to Tarif. And we are assisting these kids. In fact, we just had a young man whose mother is so elated that she made the decision to send her child to us, that he finally got his GED.
A local technical school helping the elderly in the community. Recently, students of Pine Yard Technical Center partnered with Paint Fair and the Boys Brigade to provide a facelift to the Grand Bahama Home for the Aged. Edney Anderson says the initiative is part of Pine Yard Technical Center's 40-hour community service program that is now mandatory for all students to successfully complete the program.
See, we have painted some of the buildings. We have done landscaping. We are doing fencing out there. Some of the guys are now cooking lunch for the old folks. And we're trying to give back to this community. Well, it's important for the young persons to learn the art of giving back. So many people in society have this concept of they're entitled to things, and if you don't teach these young men from the beginning how they have to give back, not only that this generation is not listening to what you're saying, they're watching what you do. So for that reason, we decided that we're going to start it off and we're going to be different than everybody else and make these young men become accountable for their communities.
Don't go away. Sports is up next with Ricardo Lightborn.